ask Liza to come and share a few words, I wanna underscore something that Ashley said earlier. So Spin is a subdivision of Ford Motor Company. And Ford, of course, is one of the largest, most revered companies in the United States and by extension in the world. Several years ago, they made a conscious decision to transition from a purely motor company to a mobility company. And part of that transition means these Spin bicycles. And this is the first time that these Spin bicycles are being launched into a community right here in Providence. And so I wanted to mark this moment as something really significant, not just for us here in Providence, but frankly, for one of the largest companies in the United States. To be doing this here in Providence is really significant, so we're really excited. With that said, I'll ask Liza, the organizer of the Providence Streets Coalition, to bring home what this means for people who use their bike and have alternative transit modes throughout the city, and to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Nate. Thank you, Spin. My name is Liza Burkin. I organize the Providence Streets Coalition. We're an alliance of community groups, local businesses, schools, and engaged individuals who support safer streets and more transportation choices. And Spin has been an enthusiastic supporter of our coalition since 2019 from the very beginning, and it's been such a pleasure to work with the whole time. So, still. This March, we conducted some phone interviews with 600 Providence residents. And if there are locals of the media or members of the media who don't have this in your inbox today, please come talk to me after, because I want to tell you about it. We wanted to ask people about their attitudes about travel and traffic in Providence. And some of our findings were that 80% of people believe that developing alternatives to driving is the best way to reduce our city's traffic issues, which is up from 77% in 2019. 81% of people believe that better transportation options like public buses and safe biking will make Providence a more desirable city to live, work, and play in. And 70% of people, up from 58% in 2019, would like to ride a bicycle more often, but are worried about getting hit. These numbers show unequivocally that the majority of Providence residents are ready for safer streets and more transportation choices. So I've personally been riding bikes in Providence for about 10 years now, and I could not be more excited to see shared bikes on our streets once again. While Jump certainly had a troubled end, the hard facts is that it opened up the city for thousands of people who simply did not have access to their own working bicycle or a place to put it, or who were visiting us, or who simply wanted to try bicycling before buying one of their own. Over the course of 11 months, Jump's operation, people in Providence took almost 300,000 rides, biking a combined almost 580,000 miles, making Providence the highest usage city in the country outside of California, okay? People in Providence like to ride bikes, guys, and they're going to again. I remember also being on East Bay Bike Path a few months after it launched, and the number of people of all ages and abilities on those red bikes nearly outweighed the number of people on their own bikes. So thank you, Spin. I'm really excited to see these orange bikes all around the city and even outside. Of course, the joy of cycling is too often peppered with struggle and fear. We know that the two biggest barriers to biking for folks are, number one, safe places to ride them, and number two, a lack of secure and convenient places to store them at home for apartment dwellers. There's not always a place to lug a bike up the stairs and put them if you're sharing an apartment with a lot of family members. So bike share goes a long, long way to solving that second problem. And the city is well on its way to solving the first one with its Great Streets Initiative and Urban Trail Network. So I want to talk a little bit more about safety. As bicyclists and scooter riders, the number one thing we can do to protect ourselves and those around us is to organize for safer street design and to bring our neighbors and our colleagues and our friends along for the ride. The second thing we can do is actually ride, because studies from around the world show that there is safety in numbers. The more of us who ride, the more drivers will get used to seeing us on the streets, slow down, and give us space on the street. We are safest when we are predictable, visible, and communicative, by following traffic rules when we're in the road, and by using our bodies to communicate with drivers, signaling. Okay? They've got horns and blinkers. We have our arms and our eyeballs and our voices to communicate with those around us. We need to use them. Let's be loud out there. Let's take space. Let's be visible. Finally, it's critically important that we be good neighbors by making sure we're not blocking anything when we park these beautiful bikes and scooters, and by always, 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 if you're traveling on anything electrified, by stopping and yielding for pedestrians. Again, I'm so glad that Bike Share is back in Providence just in time for summer. I encourage folks to find out about Spin's access programs, which can help people with lower incomes get access to bikes and scooters. And if you're bike curious, but you need more confidence, please take a riding class, either with Spin or the Rhode Island Bicycle Coalition. Come talk to me. We'll get you out to get you more secure and feeling confident on the street. Okay, have fun and be safe, everyone. Happy summer.